it's maybe not the time. But yeah, I guess we're not on yet.
I think it is the time, actually.
What is it? What do you need?
I'm wondering if I should close that downstairs door because I think the mic will pick up from downstairs.
Yeah, maybe. I was thinking of trying to close it, but I also... okay, I think we're live.
Or can I not because of the internet cord?
I was wondering about the internet cord,
okay.
yeah.
All right, we'll have to deal with that another time.
This is what is this? This is the first attempt stream of me streaming my playtesting. Here we go, let's turn this, let's hide that. Stream my playtesting of my tabletop role-playing game, solo tabletop role-playing game, Chomp N Stomp. So I'm going to get the comments up and stuff. All right. And this would be on YouTube. Yeah, we are going to have to do something about that door. I'm already seeing some. This is obviously a test stream, you know. We'll see how it goes. All right, let's get live. Let's go to my channel here. All right, I don't see it saying, oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is live. That looks pretty good. Oh, my God, your hair. Hi, welcome. Oh, is it that crazy? Here, I'll put this over here, actually, where I can read it. Yeah, it's pretty amazing, I think. How does it sound, I guess? Chomp N Stomp playthrough. All right, so here it is. Here's the RPG over here. Here's my rules that I have at present. My whole purpose of these rules is that you can just start reading them and playing. You can start playing right away. I want you to not have to like read the rules first and then start playing. I want you to be able to like play as you're reading the rules. I know it's a crazy idea, but there it is. So let's see. Where am I at now? So the point I've gotten to is this is the structure of the game. It's actually a really super structured game. Most of the work so far is going to be in, you know, filling out this structure and explaining it basically step by step, which I think everyone needs, especially in a solo RPG. I've been noticing that for me, the thing that really stops me is not really knowing what to do next, or maybe even not understanding a step or whatever. So I'm going to give that a shot here. So the whole, let's see. So I'm going to just do a playthrough and get as far as I get. Since the structure's not completely set up totally, but the part that is set up that I have an actual complete phase for is the character creation setup. So I'm going to do that. Are you having trouble over there too? It's been a long time since we streamed. We had a little bit of difficulty getting going.
But I bumped the chat and moved it off of the stream.
Chat's just like gone off the stream. Yeah. Fair enough. All right, character creation. I guess I should just maybe explain the game real quick. The basic idea of the game. Maybe I'll even read this part through again. It's been a minute. I do want to... These are just going to be the rules. I'm going to edit these, you know, as I play through them here. So the game's purpose is to reveal a giant monster to the players through encounters with the characters that exist in the monster's world. When the game is over, you will have experienced an exciting narrative and created a giant monster, or kaiju, that has until now only dwelt within the forgotten corners of your subconscious mind. All right, that doesn't sound too bad. Hopefully that gives you an idea of, so you know what you're doing right away. We'll see. I'm going to have to like hone and improve all this. The game follows a very structured plot. The monster reveals clues about itself to you twice, and then finally reveals itself in total for the climax of the story. Well, all of the characters' needs are tested, and they either succeed or fail. Between the monster reveal phases are developmental phases where characters interact with each other and react to events. These end with each player giving the character they are most rooting for a six-sided die. These dice. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Almost missed that. These dice are used for initiative and for a final roll where their want is achieved or fails and whether they live or die in the final confrontation.
Sean, look at your chat.
Hey, Bowman. Welcome. How you doing? Did you actually accidentally Twitch yourself? Yeah, we were signed into Twitch for a second. And then I realized, and yeah, here I am now. Yeah, we had a hard time getting started today. It's been a while since I've streamed. Yeah, basically the point of this stream is I'm just I'm kind of like holding myself accountable to developing this game. I've already done quite a bit, but I'm just going to play test it here on stream. And as I go, you know, characters, here's apostrophes there. So right now I'm just going through did I actually finish my sentence? I don't know. Right now I'm going through the rules and just reading through it. Seeing how it sounds out loud. You know, I wrote these to myself. Lag. Oh, we got a ton of lag, huh? Are we wired? Oh, you know what? No. That's right, we have the PlayStation wired. We'd have to bring the wire over here. We might
Is there another one?
We might need to do that. No, there's only two. One goes downstairs. Do you want to wire it real quick?
You mean not the take it off of the PlayStation?
Yeah, we'd have to take it off the PlayStation and put it onto here. Oh, you wired it up like attached it.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay.
It's not too tough. I could take it down.
I mean, I don't know. I guess for this one, we're just gonna have to deal with it. Let me know how it looks on your guys' end as far as.
What do you want me to do?
Nothing right now. I guess we're just gonna have to have a leg, right?
Yeah,
Next time before tomorrow, I think we should probably wire the computer before the stream. I didn't even think about it. Bowman says Sean is bearding up. Yeah. No, I'm growing this out. I'm growing it out way extra long, and then I'm going to cut it. Apparently, the only way you can grow out a beard is to go too far. If you notice, I'm doing the same thing here with the hair. Yeah. Close to Manson beard. Eventually, I feel like, you know, one can dare to dream, you know. Anyway, yeah, so what I'm doing here is I'm going to actually just do a playthrough of this game. I don't know if you remember Chomp N Stomp, Bowman. Yeah, you probably remember Chomp N Stomp. It was, you know, we had it as a board game. Death Clam Games did it as a board game. And, you know, it ended up being kind of a war game. And I think it missed the fun part of what it is to, like, do a monster movie. And I think that's the monster, to me, is the exciting part of a monster movie. And not only that, I think that it's fun to see how the characters react to the monster. Actually, usually the characters in a monster movie are maybe not that necessary usually or whatever. You mostly just want to see giant monsters smash things, but there always are characters, and I think that actually could be fun. Basically, the tension I'm going for with this is, do these characters live or die? Do they make it through? Do they achieve what they were setting out to do? It's those two questions, I guess. Did they achieve what they're setting out to do? And do they make it? You know, I think there could be a lot of really sad scenes with, you know, characters, you know, that didn't quite make it, you know, or trapped under rubble, you know, leave me behind, whatever. Maybe they save some people, I don't know. So it's coming back as a tabletop role-playing game instead of a board game. I think it's going to be a lot easier to put a, you know, there doesn't have to be any physical copy of it. You can just put a game out as a file, a PDF file, you know. As long as it's, you know, we're going to make it look nice. We're going to use the art from the original Chomp N Stomp, I think, too. So, I mean, that'll be kind of fun. It kind of lives on a little bit. So anyway, I'm just going to play test that here. I'll probably talk more than in the other, you know, for a while. Me and Loren were doing the thing where we were just, you know, staying on focus. So I'm going to stay pretty much on focus as far as the role-playing game goes. I'll probably just be playing it, but I'm definitely open to questions, especially about the game, you know. There'll be a little bit more talking. Hornsby will never be forgotten. Yeah, Hornsby's going to find a place within here, within this game. You know what I'm saying? Loren's going to go get started painting. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, the painting looks great. I don't know if you can see... You can kind of see behind me, Loren did all this, you know, so it's pretty exciting. So here we go. I'm just going to continue. I'm going to read through this, make sure it sounds okay for now. I mean, all of this might change. This is a very early stage of it. I've just started on the rules. They're not actually complete as of yet, but I'm sort of filling them in as I play because I'm seeing what I need when I play. I'm trying to start out with no rules and like hone in on what rules do I actually need to make this game work. So I'm trying to like do that with as fewer rules as possible, but I think that it's really important to have a structure. Here, I'll even start up here. This says the game follows a very structured plot. The monster reveals clues about itself to you twice, and then finally reveals itself in the total for the climax of the story, where all the characters' needs are tested and they either succeed or fail. Between the monster reveal phases are developmental phases, where characters interact with each other and react to events. These end with each player giving the character they are most rooting for a 6-sided die. So right now, I'm most rooting for the one you like the best. I'm not sure about that criteria right now. I don't want you to give it to the player. Yeah, in a sense, the game itself is going to be very simple, and it is based on a die roll mechanic. Yeah. But yeah, so I don't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, you're going to roll the dice in the end. You also roll them for initiative. The other thing I've done with this game is that you can play it solo. It's going to be designed as a solo game, but it's also going to have as many players as you need. Maybe like up to 4, maybe 5 or 6. I'm not sure. I think it might just be 4 because there's 4 characters. But you give the dice to the characters, not the players. It's the character you like, the character you want to see succeed the most. You give them the dice as you go through the thing. So I'm not sure how that's going to like come out as far as actual interaction. You know, I want to avoid people having hard feelings about it, but yeah, it's definitely dice. Definitely dice. Especially because it's a solo game. The plot's very structured. You go through a series of events, but that's where the creativity comes. I don't want the player to have to do too much work, but for me, it's still fun to make up stuff. So there's still that in the game, and there's no GM, so it's like all the players share in that a little bit, and they go in sequence. The dice are used for initiative, so they go in sequence. Here, in fact, I'll just read this part. At each phase, write a few notes about what happens at minimum, but you can elaborate as much as you like. Turn orders used in phases. Turn orders used in phases as players narrate events in sequence based on the roll of the dice. So it's kind of like Exquisite Corpse a little bit, where one player does something and then the next player reacts to what that player did, and then the next player gets to react to what those two players did and kind of fit themselves into the world. But you do it not all at once, but one after the other, and that also lets each player do their own part of the story. They don't get buffaloed by like one person doesn't run everything, So that's the idea behind this. Highest initiative narrates first. Ties are broken by a die-off between the tied parties. Highest player narrates the reactions. Highest player, the reactions and actions of his character, then passes off narration to the next character. And then another adds to what has come before, and so on. Yeah, I guess that's kind of what I said. Until all the characters have added something. You will usually be instructed to write a short summary of what each character does during a phase, but the amount of detail is up to you. The monster in this story is gigantic and unkillable. It is a threat so big the characters cannot confront it directly. Any solution you have to destroying it is doomed to fail. In the old monster movies, these creatures were a manifestation of a force of nature or atomic weaponry. Mankind must deal with the monster but cannot conquer it. Just as our attempts to conquer nature bring only the wrath of climate change, attempts to destroy the monster by force will always bring that force back upon man, many times over. When you're done with this game, you'll have just such a monster that can now appear in a new story, maybe fighting with another monster in another game. Who knows? It's your own personal monster. So there you go. Yeah, highest player. Thank you, Bowman. Yeah, I did notice that. What you need to play the game. So at minimum, you need a piece of paper or Word document, which we have over here. I'm going to use that to write the specifics of the character and mark how many dice they have. I actually have some dice. I have some dice over here. I'm just going to roll physical dice. You probably can't see them. One per character, basically. Although I realize now that I need more than one. Well, I didn't think that through. Maybe you need a lot of dice, actually, because you're handing people dice. You might need a buttload of dice. I'm not actually sure. All right, anyway. People could be responsible for their own character on index cards and pass out physical dice, or one person who's used to GMing could run a central sheet with all the info on it. It's really up to the group. Also, during phases, usually each character will require one or more sentences to be entered into the log. For the first game, it might be easier to have an experienced player run a central sheet or online program. Yeah, okay. So there we go. That's basically what I have written so far as an introduction. And this is the structure of the game right here. As player. All right, so you create your characters, and then you're going to have a development phase, which is going to focus on what brings the players together. You're going to have an intro or sign of the creature. And then the development phase 2 is them reacting to the creature and advancing their motivations. Then we have another one, which is stakes, a path of success and failure is mapped out for the needs of the character. So then the creature destroys something. The nature of its strength is revealed, and then it may be glimpsed, and someone may die during this phase here. So someone, if they get unlucky, gets killed by the creature, you know. Development phase 4, characters react and set up the success or failure of their motivations, and then the creature appears in all its glory in the next phase, and then the character arcs are resolved by all the dice you've gotten from everyone. If you're playing solo, you just give dice to characters you like. So then you roll them for all the characters and see what happens to them. If you roll too low, they die. If you roll really, really high, they also die, but they die heroically. So there's different ways. There's lots of different ways for your character to die. And I think that's important in a monster thing. You know, there has to be some sort of drama stuff. So anyway, I'll just start and jump right in. So basically the rules are going to be, hopefully as you read the rules, you can just start playing. So here it goes. Character creation setup. Create 4 main characters. Divide up the characters among the players as you see fit. Since I'm playing solo, I get all the characters. And I went and used, I looked up a lot of narrative stuff about like plot structure and, you know, how people organize like, you know, screenplays and books and all that kind of stuff. And I came to the idea that like, I didn't want players to have to do too much. So there's only going to be these 4 characters, and they fit into these 4 roles, which is the protagonist, the sidekick, the love interest, and the antagonist. They're going to be all those characters. Who knows who's going to actually live to the end? You know, that's part of the excitement about it. But then each character randomly receives a personality type based on the 12 Jungian archetypes. Next to the archetype is the corresponding primary motivation. I can't even say it all. But look, so I just use that. Apparently people use that in a lot of like storytelling and all that kind of stuff. There's always those, I guess the whole point of the archetypes is that you recognize them immediately as people. What is? I've seen too many scary movies. Well, that's fine though. This can be scary. Some of the giant monster movies are scary. Some of them are more, I don't know, what would you call it? I guess they're all kind of horror movies, but they're kind of, the monster fight ones are more like excitement or adventure movies or something. So I don't know. I guess this one has a little bit more of a horror vibe, considering that the monster doesn't really like show up at first and then finally like shows up and like attacks everybody. Anyway, what was I saying here? Anyway, so these are the 12 archetypes. I'm thinking about maybe making it even easier for the players by turning these into like just sort of, I don't know, like how should I say this? Pre-made characters. Because here, ruler, control, artist, creation. So it's this is the role, and this is what they most what drives them. But I'm almost thinking about turning this into like maybe more of the 50s monster movie. So instead of ruler, it would be like general or president. Instead of art, well, artist would still be artist. But instead of sage, it would be like who would be like a mentor or something like that. You know, like Mr. Miyagi or something. Innocent would be like a kid. Explorer would, yeah, I guess that would still be like an explorer in those movies. There was always like when they went to Monster Island or whatever, there was always the dude in the explorer hat that would be like hacking through the jungle or whatever. Rebel, liberation. Obviously, you know, rebel, yeah. Actually, these make more sense. The one magician might not make sense, but they're looking for power, so you could even say that they were like, you know, like a cult leader or like a politician or something, you know, and they're looking for power. Jester or like fool, which is looking for enjoyment. Every man is what usually movies are about, and they just want to belong to the group. Every man just wants to belong to the group. Lover, that's a good one. They're looking for intimacy, and caregiver is looking for service or to take care of somebody. So far that's the character creation for each of these. So I'll just do this now. For the protagonist, I'll just show you how it works. I'm going to roll my 12-sided die here. You guys aren't going to be able to see it. Maybe you can hear that it happened. A 12. So the protagonist is a caregiver. Looking for the service is their primary motivation. And then how old are they? 2 die 20 plus 10. Oh, do I have 20-sided dice up here? Hold on just a second. I should have 20-sided dice here. Oh, here, it's 2 of them. There's literally 2 of them right here. I did that so they wouldn't be like too young. The protagonist should probably be like older than a kid, but I mean, it could still happen, I guess. All right, 15 and 20, it's 35, so it's 45 is our main character, is 45 years old. And then does a gender come to mind with this age and traits? If not, just select at random. I'm thinking it's a male. All right, so that's the protagonist. The sidekick is, let's roll. Let's see who he is. What's the sidekick's like? I don't necessarily want to repeat these either. This one keeps rolling off the table, but you guys can't see this. But all right, I rolled a 1, so he's a ruler. He's about control. So it's funny. There could be a dynamic here about like who's the actual leader of the group. Is the sidekick actually running things? I'm guessing there's like a younger person. Let's see how old. Let's do the age dice here. 27. I'm getting another male vibes off that one. Let's just see how that goes. A spiritualist. Oh yeah, Bowman. Yeah, we could have like the magician could be the spiritualist too. There was a lot of those in the old monster movies, I think, where they tried to contact the other side because the monster was attacking. Usually, I think they got eaten. I think the spiritualist usually got... I mean, maybe I'm wrong. But, I mean, I feel like that's what happened. All right, the love interest. Let's choose the love interest to the protagonist. What kind of dynamic is going on here? 6. Rebel. Oh, yeah. There we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is love interest. Oh, yeah, I should put it up here. There's rebel. And they're looking for liberation. So love interest to the 45 male. Oh, yeah, let's see the age here. Oh, this could be good. This could be good. 14 and 14. What's that? 27? 37. It worked out. So I'm going female on that one. We'll have this be a traditional, we're all into tradition and stuff. You could do Gilligan's Island rules. Wait, what are Gilligan's Island rules? That is another potential for RPG. Everybody's trapped on an island. That's actually a really good idea, Bowman. I might just straight up steal that and make a Gilligan's Island. It won't be called Gilligan's Island. It'll be called Finnegan's Island or something. Finnegan's. Yeah, never mind. All right, let's see. So what's this guy? So who's our antagonist? 4. Oh, yeah. Right, you could do Gilligan's Island where it's only those characters. There's a millionaire, his wife. Right. A movie star. 4. Innocent. The antagonist. Really, that's funny. Looking for safety. Maybe by looking for safety, they endanger them all. 8. Let's see. 15 plus 8 is what? 34. Male. Let's do it. Maybe he's trying to keep him safe and makes a bad choice. All right, so there you go. That's character creation right there. That's how you do it. It's really that easy. All right, now each character writes a general sentence about their character. Let's go ahead and fix that up. Mind's eye. The sentence is based on people's first impression of the character. Try to actually see the character in your mind's eye and write the first thing that comes to mind. All right, so I'm just going to go in order in this state. They don't have any dice yet or whatever, so we're going to go in order. The protagonist, caregiver. I have to write a sentence about just how they seem. He's getting like a EMT vibe or something. I'll go with that. You know, we'll call him Slim. He'll be Slim and serious, right? He's got the EMT vibe. We'll even say that's what he does. He's a caregiver. That makes sense. So now we say, what would his sidekick be like? 27. Now I'm wondering if it should be a male and it shouldn't be a female that gets to order him around or whatever. But anyway, ruler and in control. Maybe he's like a computer nerd or whatever. You know, anybody rules through his secret ambition is control. I'm down. That's the first thing you'd see. You know? Alright, let's see. Love interest, rebel. So what is she doing here? Oh, should I be... You know, this is starting to make me feel like I should do the setting first. I don't know, maybe. She's a rebel. Let's make a liberation thing. Let's make her a librarian. Oh, she's like what do you call him? The sexy librarian. All right, and then, but she's probably working like undercover for some sort of liberation group. Antagonist. What's this guy? So what's he into? So I'm thinking he's into her. So he's probably like a professor. Because he'd stay we'll call him Stuffy Professor. All right, that's what came to mind when I went through all this. But it also had me thinking like maybe I should have this setting first. But all right, I'll just keep going with that. Yeah, the characters would straight up just be Gilligan's Island. Well, here's the thing about Chomp and Stomp. The whole point of it to me was that eventually, like, you don't have to use these character creation rules. Like, you could just bring in characters. Like, if you wanted to, you could do fan fiction, anything, and these guys encounter a monster. So, you know, this protagonist could be, you know, instead of this guy, it could be Gilligan. You know what I'm saying? Gilligan's the protagonist. You know, the skipper is his sidekick. You know, that could be, like, interesting, where Gilligan's, like, you know, handing out the orders. His love interest is, you know, Mary Ann or whatever. And the antagonist is, you know, millionaire. You know, it could be Robert, what was his name? Howell the Third or whatever. So you could put anybody into these roles is kind of what I envisioned for the game. Like, we could put in, you know, people from the stream or whatever, too, and just be like, hey, so... The protagonist is Bowman, you know. I could be the sidekick, you know. Love interest would obviously be Samos, you know. Antagonist, you know, he shall not be named, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I mean, it could be kind of fun. It's an open template. Yeah, exactly. So this is just if you don't want to create a character. I've put all this in to like just get you started on a character. You know, a lot of this game, since there's no GM, a lot of the creation does go on to the players. And so I'm still trying to work on that. Like, I'm not sure everybody necessarily likes to create stuff. So I'm trying to take as much of the, like, burden off people as possible. Thomas Howell III, thank you. Stuffy Professor. All right. Now each character, we write a general sentence. So I wrote the sentence. That's the next step. See, I also want it to be clear what you're doing. So, I mean, this is kind of cool. When all the character traits have been settled, write a sentence about this setting. So let's write setting here. What is the most reasonable place these characters would be together? Look at the characters and the traits and close your eyes and let a vision come to you. That might be asking too much of people. Let's see. Do you see a place? If not, use one of these. All right, let me see where I see these people existing. The protagonist... EMT, computer nerd, sexy librarian, and stuffy professor. I'm thinking, actually, this sounds like it's at like a college or something. I'm going to say it's at a college by the sea somewhere, like or what do they call it, Ivy League college by the sea? Or what do they call it, No, what do they call them when they're really good colleges? Yeah. By the sea. In the library, how about?
Ivy League, Sean.
Is it Ivy League? That's just what they call it?
Yeah.
Samos is your Mary. Exactly. I didn't tell anybody I was even coming on today. We did put something on Discord, didn't we?
Yes.
I think we're going to just do this every day. I'm going to do this till I get the game down, so I'm kind of excited about that. All right, let's see. In the library. We'll say we're even in the library. That's the setting. Okay, so that's what came to me. You know, I imagine one of those big-ass libraries. I guess I should even... So here's where you can, like, go deeper into it if you want. If you want to, you know, since you're doing solo roleplay, it probably is easier to put yourself in that place, you know. So, I mean, I'm looking around. Now that I look at the library, I think my imagination took the library from, like, Ghostbusters or whatever. You know, that big old library. Is that some library in New York or something? Anyway. I'm going to just call it big-ass library. Like in Ghostbusters. I don't need to say library twice. In a big-ass library like in Ghostbusters. All right. Okay, so that's what it is. Don't be afraid to leave some questions open. Parts of the characters don't make sense yet can be revealed during the game. Okay, so there we go. We've done that. Things have started. We begin. That was the setting. And now we move on to opening. So I've not totally finished opening. So it's development scene 1. So maybe I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to really label these. But okay. This opening will create 2 sentences per character. Okay. To start this phase, roll initiative. Each character starts with 1 die. Okay. So I do have 4 dice for when they have 1 die. And they're all different colors to represent who they are. And if they're the same, you got to roll off. Okay. All right. There we go. So first it's green. So it's the sidekick first. So what do I do? In initiative order, each character will list a reason for being there. Don't try too hard to be creative. Humans like to fill in gaps in understanding. A valid reason for your character's situation will probably come to mind naturally. If not, you can declare your character's motivations as mysterious, and they may be revealed through the narrative. Okay. So that's the first sentence. So for the sidekick, I'm going to do that first. And then a sentence about his relations they have to other characters. Maybe this is the part of why they are at the setting. Okay. So we start with, maybe I should now, you know what? I never said when to name these people, did I? Did I name these? Oh, you know, I should put that. Write a general sentence. I'm going to just say here. Now is when... Oh, I already wrote now. You know, I'll put that as a separate thing. Name the character. Okay, we'll be there. Okay, each player, right. So each player writes a general sentence about their characters. Let's see, in what would I call that order? There's an order up here. Oh yeah. Order of creation. Here we go. Sweet. All right, so now we go back to the opening here. All right, so initiative order, create a list of reasons for being there. Why are we at the Ivy League College? Why is the computer nerd at the Ivy League College? And what's his name? I should have named him already, so that's right. I'm going to name him now. His name is Dan. Dan is our protagonist. I mean, Milton sounds good. He sounds like a computer nerd, I think. Love interest, the rebel librarian. What's her name? Layla. She's kind of a sexy librarian. That makes sense. An antagonist, the stuffy professor, Herbert. Yeah, okay. Let's do it. Fucking Herbert's here. So here we go. The opening. So we've named them now. So Milton is going to have 2 sentences. The first sentence, his reason for being at this college. So he's in the library right now. He's our sidekick to Dan. So this is where I could come up with any reason he's there. Like, why is he there being a sidekick? What comes to mind? I think he's there to fix the library computers. Obviously, right? Is he crushing on Layla? Yeah. Everybody is. Everybody's going to be crushing on Layla. And then his second sentence. Let's see. About the relations they have to other characters. So I already kind of introduced that in the first one. Maybe I don't need to be as strict on that. But I'm guessing since he's the sidekick, it's like, why is he the sidekick? And why does Dan come in there? We don't know yet. I'm having a hard time with that one. What's his relation to the other person? Oh, the Herbert's his antagonist. Oh, maybe he hates Herbert. Him and Herbert compete who to be the smartest. There we go. That's what makes sense. Got a delivery. Yeah, Bowman. Enjoy, man. Make that money, bud. Anyway, yeah, see ya. Thanks for hanging out, man. So him and Herbert compete over who is the smartest. Yeah, okay, so that's good. So that's Milton. So next, who comes next is the antagonist, is the next in the role. So he's going to build off that. Herbert, what's he there for? Pretends he's there for research. But is really stalking Layla. I can't remember her name. All right, and his relationship. He was a former graduate. He was a former student in the library. Library under Layla. In the past. All right, that's just what comes up. Next it's Layla. So basically the idea behind this is that we're taking each of these pieces of information and then building on it with the next character. If you're playing with more than one player, you would just do this in turn. And it's kind of like, I'm kind of going for the exquisite corpse thing where it's like each player produces part of it, so it's surprising to everybody. Since there's no GM, everybody's got to take a little bit of the responsibility. And if you're playing solo, which is basically what this is designed for, you do have to do it all. You have to create stuff. You have to, like creating stuff and stuff. Otherwise. But I am trying to keep as much to create the amount you have to do as little as possible. Because I want it to be fun, but not like get bogged down, basically. All right, why is Layla here? Well, she's worked here for years. No one knows where she came from. I could say mysterious past. That's what she's there. And her relation. So she's crushing on Dan. And invents reasons for him to come in. Okay, and then Dan. Our protagonist. Let's see. What's Dan saying here? What comes to mind with Dan? So he's slim and serious. Service. Only cares about helping others. Doesn't realize Layla has a crush on him. I think doesn't realize Layla likes him. Okay, so there you go. There's 2 sentences. So that's the opening and the development. And it kind of gets things started. Finally, each player hands out a die to the character, not the player who they like the best or whose need they want to see fulfilled the most. I'll just put a mark up by the character who I like the most. Milton Herbert. I think I like Layla the most right now, so we'll give her a die. So everybody has one to start with, so we're going to go ahead and put those up here. I guess I'll just write how many dice they have here. There we go. So that was the end of the opening. Let's see here. So now we do the first monster encounter. Let's see if I have enough in the rules to go with this. So that was the opening. These guys are at the library. You'll encounter a track or secretion or story about these things, which will provide a clue to the monster's nature. Does something come to mind immediately? Don't try too hard. If nothing appears, roll on the table. All right, so I'm not going to roll on the table yet. I'm thinking of the library. I'm thinking of what kind of track could appear to show that a giant monster was around. Okay. All right, I got it. I didn't just need to roll on the table. What came to mind when I thought about it was like a giant impact or concussion that they could feel throughout the library. Concussive impact. Which knocks books off shelves. Oh, and they should probably knock Layla into Dan's arms. You know, they always have those scenes, I feel like, in a monster movie. It just came to my mind. Look at the romance here. All right, he tosses her aside to go check on the wounded. Check if anyone's hurt. Okay, so there we go. That's the first monster encounter. So that particular phase, whenever the monster stuff happens, isn't necessarily a huge phase. It proceeds right away to development scene 2. All right, let's go to that, which is where people discuss that. So this is where we roll initiative for everybody based on the amount of dice they have. And then that's going to be who starts it. I'll roll Layla first since she's the only one that has 2. She has a 4. The other guys, 5, 4, and 4. All right, let me roll everybody here. Okay, so what I have is I have the antagonist go first. It's Herbert. So I really want to keep these the turns where they say stuff separated. So second monster encounter. Oh, initiative is rolled. Each character writes one sentence expanding a previous sentence about their character or revealing a new relationship or reason for being at the setting. So one sentence here is all we need. Let me look at Herbert. So he pretends he's there for research, but really stalking Layla. He's a former student at school and worked in the library under Layla in the past. I think the concussion should have probably revealed something about Herbert is what I'm getting. It knocks over a bookcase and shows he was creeping on Layla. Right? A creepy Herbert. And, I guess I'll say. Of course, people back in those days didn't even seem to worry about that kind of stuff. They were just like, oh, this guy's stalking me. Oh, you. You know. I mean, I don't know.
That means you're supposed to marry
I think, yeah, that means he really likes me. So, I mean, I guess we don't need to go to that direction on it, but yeah. Anyway, so there was creepy Herbert. So that was the sentence about Herbert. Who's next? Green, the sidekick, Milton. All right, well, I'm guessing since they have a rival, he rushes over to confront Herbert about his creepiness. And then who's next? Oh, Layla. So what is she? So her reaction, I think she should sees what happens with those two. and tries to fall back into Dan's arms. And then Dan is the final guy we write about here. Let's see, and he, I think he lets her fall to the ground to go help an elderly lady that's fallen over. There's development scene 2. All right, there we go. So that's development scene 2. Now, as you notice here, we've gotten to the part of the rules where development scene 3 is there's no rules for it. I haven't actually written the rules down. I'm kind of glad to see the first part actually worked out. Creepiness is not spelled correct. Let's go look and see what I did write down in my notes as far as what development scene 3 is. Oh, stakes. A path of success and failure is mapped out for the needs of their characters. So, for this one, we're supposed to, for development scene 3, we're supposed to have stakes introduced. We want there to be a clear way for them to get what they want or not, or, fail miserably. So, I guess this, establishing stakes, all right. I guess it's going to be, all right, 1 or 2 sentences maybe. I'm not sure yet. All right, describing, how should I say this? So it's going to be 1 or 2 sentences describing what they want. So it's 2 sentences. So it'll be this, okay. They want and how they think they can get it. Get it, and then 1 sentence describing what happens if they fail. All right, so that's 2 sentences, all right. I'm going to have to maybe expand on that a little bit. Because this is the second monster encounter part is just not worked out yet. But anyway, so let's just I can still do development scene 3 though, and then see how that goes. I know this is the first time I've really done this one. Scene 3. So this is the stakes. I guess I could start labeling these, right? Stakes. Development scene 2 is, what do you call that reaction? Expanding. All right, so stakes. All right, so who rolls first? So once again, I didn't give a die to somebody. What character do I like after here? So Layla, Dan. I was kind of impressed with Dan there. I'm gonna go ahead and give him a die too. Nice job, Dan. Way to stay focused. This is development scene 3, stakes. All right. So these 2 I'll roll those 2 first. 3 and 5 for them, and then 5 and 3. That's fine. I don't remember who is who. So Dan and his sidekick have a roll. Okay, Dan goes first. Then his sidekick, then the antagonist, then... the die thing is a little clumsy. I'm going to have to do something about the initiative roll that's different than this. I don't like this initiative roll. I'm going to go ahead and put notes about what to fix maybe up here at top. I like rolling dice, but maybe I just need to get more dice. Fix initiative roll, get more dice. I'm not sure what to do about that. How many dice do I want people to have to roll all the time? I don't know. Anyway, development phase 3. Initiative is rolled. This phase for establishing stakes. All right, so who was going first? Layla. There's going to be 2 sentences. First one, what they want. All right. She just has to get Dan to notice her. Or she will die old and alone.
Jesus, Sean.
I mean, that just came to mind. I know it's a tough one. Yeah. I think that's how she feels. I don't know. That was rough. All right, then the sidekick. So that's Milton. All right. He's a hero. So he's not a hero. Herbert is the ruler. Wants to expel Herbert from his kingdom. And then otherwise he is severely disrespected. Oh no. This is the stuff that's coming to my mind. I really don't want to think about it too much. I don't think anybody should when they're trying to play. And then the antagonist, so Herbert, what's he doing? Herbert, you bad guy. What does he want? All right, he wants to carry Layla off. Otherwise, what happens to him? His ego is destroyed. And he falls into a deep depression. All right. And then finally Dan. What does Dan want? He wants to help others, but what? Help someone. Or he'll feel useless. He'll feel useless and lame. All right, there we go. So there's the stakes. I don't know if that works or not. I'm going to go ahead and consider how this phase is working. Maybe I even need to have a stakes generator just in case. I'm not really sure. Well, it is 2 now. Okay, so I've done this. I think this was actually I actually need to do some more work off stream now, I think. This has shown me a lot. Okay, I can actually stop here and just pick it right back up. The cool thing about this is that you can save it. It's basically saved. The game is saved, and to get back into it, you just have to read through the log and play. Oh, I should give somebody a die after this, though. Milton doesn't want to be disrespected. Herbert. I'm going to give Herbert a die, too. I'm going to just sort of spread the love around. You know? Why not? Doesn't need to be rude. The only thing I'm thinking is the die economy right now is kind of weird because if you're only playing one player, you give out 1 die. But if 4 players are playing, there's going to be a bunch of dice. Oh, but I don't think that matters because, okay, the end. Roll all their dice. Maybe it's not even going to be... maybe it's not going to be a number. Maybe it's going to be whoever rolls the highest. Maybe there's different things that happen. All right, there's definitely things to consider. This game's not done yet. I do feel like it kind of worked out. It was even kind of fun. We had a big giant concussion in the distance, you know. That leaves it still pretty open-ended to what kind of monster it could be. I don't know. Kind of having fun. Anyway, I'll be back. I'm going to keep doing this at 1 p.m. Pacific something time. You know, until I get this done and put up on TTrpg. So I'm looking forward to this. This is actually kind of fun. I've wanted to make a solo RPG for a while. I think this is kind of working. It's actually a little more difficult than I thought. I think there's more that you actually need to set down as rules than I thought you did. Because you really need to provide somebody structure. If there's no DM and nobody playing with you, it really does need it's kind of crazy. I didn't realize how much structure it needs. Even though you do create a lot in this game. There's a lot put on the player so far. And I'm not sure about that yet. You know, that's a lot of stuff to make up each turn. But then the other side of that is, if you're playing solo, you literally can take as long as you want or take as long as you want on each entry. Like, you don't have to rush it either. So I don't know. I can't decide if that's good or bad, or if I want people to be able to play through an entire like movie in one sitting. How long did I play? And I was sitting here yakking a lot, and I got basically about halfway through the game. I'm not sure how long it's eventually going to take, but I could see it taking about an hour. I don't know. I'm pretty pumped, actually. I think this went pretty well. Besides technical issues and not being used to streaming as much anymore. Anyway, thanks, Bowman, for hanging out for the stream. Hopefully delivery went well. I'll see you guys tomorrow.